Hey, hi, Paul Sackett, Good News Planet, speaking to John Rosenfield. Hi, John. How are you?
I'm excellent. Thanks.
Excellent. You're the Executive Vice President, Retail Deposits for TD Bank, and we're going to talk about the National American Saves Week challenges and what you need to know to protect your money. Okay, what's the American Saves Weeks?
Well, I believe it's a week that really focused on how do we help consumers be smarter about saving money and dealing with the challenging economy.
Okay. And with that in mind, challenging economy. This is a challenging economy, maybe one of the most challenging of all times for some of the people. What should people consider in this time?
Well, I think in these times you've heard a lot about banks raising fees or threatening to, as you may have heard with the infamous debit card fee that a few banks had proposed. In these times, I think it's important that consumers understand what they're getting from their bank, the type of relationship they have, and does it really match up to what their needs are. We recently did a survey and actually found that two-thirds of our customers are actually in a committed relationship with us, and that's driven by the amount of value that they feel from the level of customer service that we provide.
Okay. You're in the retail deposits, and I have a long career in banking. What are some of the kinds of things? Let's start maybe with checking. Are there different choices that a consumer can consider?
Oh, absolutely. I think one of the biggest things that consumers focus on are monthly fees. I mean, in fact, that came out clearly in our research. And typically, monthly fees can be avoided depending on the bank through different means. At TD Bank, for example, as long as you keep $100 in your account, you can avoid monthly fees. Well, that's called a monthly minimum balance requirement. And that minimum balance requirement at some banks is up to $500 or $800 now. In fact, I believe the average nationwide is about $600. So unless you want to keep $600 in your account, you really need to make sure you understand what the constraints are with the type of checking account you have today. Now, you may find free checking with no balance requirements at very small institutions. But again, you're trading access, if you will, for the type of fee that you might pay. See, those banks typically won't offer you, banks up and down the coast or a wide range of ATMs, and so there are trade-off decisions to make.
How about interest on that deposit that it's mandatory for you to keep in there if you want free checking?
Yeah, in today's rate environment, I can tell you that. Unless you're willing to put a few $1,000s into your checking account, you're probably not going to be generating interest. And I would tell you, as a banker, my advice is, if you want interest, put your money in a savings account, not a checking account.
How about fees like overdraft? Are there ways you can protect yourself from that situation?
Absolutely. There's a number of different ways. But first of all, with the new regulation changes that came about a year and a half ago, customers have to actually opt in and say to their bank that they want that bank to, honor a transaction in certain cases where they don't have available funds and are willing to pay the overdraft fee. But other customers can choose not to accept that. But either way, you can also set up overdraft protection with a savings account or through a credit card, so that it will cover, a transaction that exceeds your available balance. So there's a number of ways to deal with those situations to avoid overdraft fees. The best thing is really to make sure you've planned ahead and that you have the funds that you need before you spend them.
Good preparation. That's the best one. I agree with you there. I didn't know this. The savings one's a new one for me. I mean, I know about the cards. So you can literally link your checking account to a savings account?
Absolutely. Yeah, many banks allow that. I should say some banks do and some banks may not offer that, but typically there's a number of different ways to align or arrange overdraft protection.
Because that's usually not such great news if you bounce a check. Because that check usually costs you a lot of money.
Exactly.
Because it just keeps going on and on and on and on. And maybe you can talk your way out of one of them, but I don't know, a lot of them.
One of the things that we've seen is that fewer customers are coming in and asking for refunds now, thanks to the new regulations, which basically say to every bank they have to have that conversation with a customer up front to make sure they understand, when an overdraft would apply or not. So that's the good news. Is I think consumers are more aware today than they were, a couple of years ago before the regulation changed.
And how about did they make some changes in the insurance on your money in the bank?
Oh, with regards to FDIC insurance?
Yes. Did that change the amount?
It did. There was a thing called TAG, which basically placed insurance or coverage on an unlimited amount of balances in certain checking accounts, which really affects the very affluent customers that are keeping hundreds of thousands of dollars in a checking account. But that's all kind of in the mix right now for consideration. I think that law or act will change at the end of this year if it's not reenacted.
Okay. And how about overall in savings? Savings used to be known as to make you personally sleep at night.
Yeah.
And a strong potential for family strength. What is that now? How's our savings as an economy?
Well, actually, consumer savings is slightly down right now, and consumer spending is actually up, which generally is an indication that people feel confident that the economy is recovering. So these are all mixed signals with regards to some being good things, some being bad things. I do believe that more consumers should save money than they have typically in the past for those unanticipated situations. And I think there's a multitude of options as to where and how to save money. CDs are a great option, money market savings. I recognize that rates, and most people I'm sure understand that rates are very low right now, and that's a sign of the times with regards to the rate environment we live in. But the rates will come back. I mean, they really have only one direction to go from this point.
And how about senior situations? What are some thoughts regarding seniors who are maybe finding their economic having economic concerns right now?
Yeah, well, the first thing I'd tell you is, for example, at TD Bank, we offer a 60-plus checking account, which is probably the best deal you're going to find anywhere with regards to the types of, and you do get interest on that. You get free checks. All these benefits. They won't pay any fees, etc. So, for our seniors customers, I would say make sure that you're getting, a great deal because I think, not only TD Bank, but a lot of big banks will offer special products for folks in their senior years. And if you're not taking advantage of that, you really should.
And you're open a lot of hours, aren't you? You're good for those seniors who are up early or up late, right?
Yeah, not only are we open 7 days a week, but the other thing that I think is really unique, if you look at the back of our debit card, you'll find something that a lot of banks don't offer. And there's a phone number, and beside it says real people. And so if you call us, you're going to get a real person to answer the phone, not some computerized voice. And by the way, those folks are there 24/7, 365 days a year. So that's, I think, unparalleled service in today's environment.
Most convenient bank. Well, you're a do-good bank. You're have a lot of corporate responsibility for young people, older people, all kinds of people. So thank you for doing that. A lot of good stuff in the community. I'm aware of that. And how many banks do you have out there now? 1,280
from Maine to Florida.
Oh, okay. Location. Fantastic. All right. Thank you, John. Last question. What's good news for you?
Come on in and visit us at TD Bank. Thanks, Paul.
There you go. Thank you. All right. Bye-bye.